What's up, world? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. I'll be your host here, Chuck. And as you guys know, I got to give you my weekly Eagles report. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles, we managed to stay in the news just as much as the Dallas Cowboys. Apparently, Eagles football is never over. And I got to address a few things. As we all heard, the Craig Carton comments here and there every now and then. And I'm not going to lie, he has some pretty decent content. It doesn't bother me. But I'm one of the people that happen to believe in everything he's saying, right? Philadelphia Eagles have had a locker room problem for the longest. And I get it. We could not put our finger on it. We still can't put our finger on it. But I think that locker room is so solid that it just won't leak. And I think that the only way that it will leak is if a superstar player that Craig Carton said, may not be there. If that superstar leaves, then we will know that this is true. Anyway, so let's get into this report, and this is from Yard Breaker. Philadelphia Eagles sideline reporter and local sports radio host Howard Eskin addressed controversial comments recently made by FS1's Craig Carton about the collapse of the 2023 Eagles. And he goes on to say, so a few players have talked to quarterback Jalen Hurts about, hey, listen, you've got to connect more. You got to be more emotional on the sidelines. You've got to be more a part of us. And that's something that I pointed out in one of my Eagle videos I made. I love Jalen Hurts. As you guys know, I'm a huge Eagles fan. I have 3 Jalen Hurts jerseys. I have the black, the midnight green, and the Kelly green. I love Jalen Hurts. But at times when your team is in shambles, you have to be more of a vocal leader. You have to galvanize the troops. There has never been in history a leader, a commander who did not know how to guide troops. You don't see troops take themselves to war. You see them follow one person or a group of leaders to war, because you have to have something to believe in. And Jalen Hurts, you are that person that the Eagles are to believe in. Straight up, you are. And I get it. Maybe what this guy Craig Carton said, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the thing about it is, something had to go on. That's just what it is. And I get it. AJ Brown, I call him AK Brown. AK, because guess what? This dude be spraying. AK Brown. AK Brown called WIP and he let them have it. But there was something that he said in that call in, right? In that radio, he called in and he said, as far as me and Jalen Hurts, I'm not going to discuss our business on the air. So he basically said in the interview that he has no problem with Jalen Hurts, but he doesn't want to discuss it, over the radio. So what made me think was like, is there something that really happened, or you just, it's a code? The team has already sworn that they will not speak on the issue that happened. Okay, so whatever. We don't know. Maybe it's good for us not to know. As long as we have AJ Brown, a vocal leader, a guy who could galvanize the troops, a guy who knows how to stand up. And sometimes it's not all about the quarterback being, if that's not his personality, it's not his personality. But you have to have the guy with fire in him that can put that fire in other people's belly to burn and make them better. And I think that's where AJ is misunderstood. I've always told you guys, he's Terrell Owens 2.0. Terrell Owens is my favorite wide receiver ever. And right now, AJ Brown is looking like he may be next in line as one of my favorites. It's just the passion, and I literally understand this guy. It's something he's dedicated his whole life to doing, and he just wants to see it pan out. So let's continue to read where it says, the one player that's probably more, I think the word demonstrative is probably too much of implying what's going on, was defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. Fletcher is a STEM guy and was not happy with his emotion, but other players were the same way. And that's something that Jalen Hurts, like I said, man, I think that he rubbed the team the wrong way, because they had just got done dealing with this with Carson Wentz. And, when the team was winning last year, they had the Super Bowl run. We saw a different side of Jalen Hurts. We saw the fire and desire because everybody was happy. But in times where we're losing, man, we need that same energy as if we were winning. And I think that the players noticed that in when Jalen Hurts, kind of being on an island by himself at times. It just didn't help the situation. But the organization has notified Jalen Hurts. So have teammates, and we'll continue to read on that. They have notified Jalen Hurts to be better, man. And I think that Jalen Hurts is the type of guy that likes to prove it, don't like to tweet about it, don't like to talk too much. He's going to show the work. I believe in Jalen Hurts. I believe in this guy. I don't care what Chris Sims has to say with his hating ass. Chris Sims has the nerves to go out here and say that Jalen Hurts is the most overrated quarterback in the league. Bro, if your wife or your girlfriend likes Jalen Hurts and you're jealous and maybe you're mad because he's jacked, he's an Eagle, a black man, and I mean, I'm just being real with you guys. My fiance loves Jalen Hurts. And I can't help it. The guy is a nice looking guy. You just got to be real with yourself. Maybe Chris Sims is just a hater because he's ugly. He sucked as a quarterback. So there you have it, Jalen Hurts. If you come across this video, know that I got your back, dog. And yeah, so he said that foolish stuff in the headlines the other day, and reports are everywhere about this guy sounding clownish. You mean to tell me that Jalen Hurts is the most overrated quarterback you know? There aren't any more overrated quarterbacks who second or third year takes a team to the NFL Super Bowl. Get out of here, man. Overrated. Stop. And then you had a nerve to say that he's playing behind the best O-line. See, one thing about it, the NFL, they switch flip-flop so much. 1 week is this team with the best O-line and best defensive football. Then you got this team. No team to me has a set number one this or that. You just look at what Kansas City was able to do. They were able to win a Super Bowl, be in the middle of the pack. So when people say number one defense, number two defense, San Francisco had that for a while. They dropped to the third towards the end of the season, fired the coordinator for losing the Super Bowl. Get out of here, man. Like, I don't buy into all of that. So let's go and continue to read. The latest Eagles-related drama began earlier in the week when Carlton claimed on his FS1 program 2023 edition of the club endured a problem that would splinter any group of men, as once 10-1 team lost 6 of 7 games. And I'm not gonna lie, like when he said that, it made sense to me because deep down I know I was the only person thinking that. I could not figure out what made this team slip the way they did. I said, man, it had to be something. Literally, did someone like mess with somebody's wife or girl? Lord behold, this report comes out. The first thing I think of was like, I knew it was something. Then the report came out and said that this was false and nothing like this had occurred. Only that locker room is going to know, and I'm okay with that as long as whatever happened can be buried and forgiven, and these men can come together to do one thing: win a Super Bowl. That's all I care about, man. Like, stuff happens, life happens. You know, sometimes women aren't no good, sometimes men aren't no good. So we just got to be careful with that, man. These are NFL players. I don't doubt that they cannot have the cream of the crop when it comes to women. So that's another thing that kind of made me not really believe it. But at the same time, man, you just never know. The ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter reported that somebody within the Eagles told him that none of that happened. Carlton was once stood by his original story on multiple occasions. The Eagles insider Derek Gunn shared that Hurts allegedly was pulled into numerous directions and didn't handle a lot of pressure after the signing a 5-year contract extension worth up to $255 million with $709.3 guaranteed last offseason. And that's my thing, guys. I told y'all that in the video. I said, man, Jalen Hurts, he has to get used to being a superstar. He has to get used to the millions. He has to get used to the endorsements. That's the truth. And anybody who's human, who life changes overnight, you wake up with that much money in your bank account, you got to think about ways to just spend it. Honestly, get rid of it. Not get rid of it. You got to think about ways to spend it. You got to think about who to help. You got to think about who was there for you when you didn't have it. You got to think about the family member coming from all kinds of directions, thinking about this, thinking about that. And it's just hard for you to focus on football when you have so many other things. I don't know his personal life. I do know he has a girlfriend. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There can be a lot of things that happen once you get that type of money. You got women that are going to try to trap you, all the above. And I get it. So I'm going to give last season, I'm just going to scratch it off and keep it going. I'll do that for you, Jalen Hurts. The next time I may not be this friendly, even though I love you. I just got to keep it real on this channel. So Fletcher is a guy, and this is why this makes sense. Eskins continued, from what I've been told, Craig Carton said there's going to be a prominent player that may not be with the team next year because of this. Well, Fletcher Cox has basically already said that he's done. So Craig is going to say, well, I told you a player that wasn't coming back It was not a fight. It was not a screaming match. It was not any of those things. And he's just one of the players that has talked to him. So at the end of the day, we don't know what this guy Craig is talking about. We don't know what truly happened. I don't want to see Fletcher go, but I understand that we got to get rid of a lot of that old talent and literally start with the new talent. We have too much of a talented core for us not to have done better this past season. Point blank, period. And I'm just hoping that with all of this media coverage, that with all this drama, that we can find some hope with the new coordinators that we have. I really believe in Kellen Moore, man. I believe in Vic Fangio, and I just gotta believe that the energy is going to be there. The season is going to be there. We had a short season last year because of the Super Bowl, and a lot of players like Jalen Hurts himself. A lot of players like Jalen Hurts was still kind of injured. So hopefully with a full rested off season, all the surgeries that need to be had are being had, and then all of these players come back with a clear conscience, ready to play some Eagles football, ready to see what Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, also known as AK Brown, because he gonna let them guns sound any chance he get. I'm curious to see how they're gonna look. You know what I'm saying? Curious to see if Swift gonna come back. I really do want DeAndre Swift to come back. I think that he has earned another year. I think that guy is solid, and I think that he produced, even though he wasn't being utilized in the best offensive schemes. I think that he should come back. So you guys, especially Eagle Nation and Eagle fans, I want you guys to weigh in with your thoughts, comments, and concerns. If you like the content, man, subscribe to my channel for more Eagles content. Also hit that notification bell. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at chargetheegame. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Like always, let me know how you charge the game. Peace.